All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Clumsy Clairvoyance. This is Listrynne. Welcome, Listrynne. Are you muted still? Probably.
Hey,
Listrynne!
sorry guys. How's it going?
Good. Listrynne's here with me. We're going to do this unboxing. So I'm just waiting for a few more people to pop in. I'm so excited. I've been holding on to it for how many days now? Like 4 days?
Something like that. Yeah.
So a little I guess I can show you guys the box. You guys are just going to see this right now, though. You just see brown. But so I'm gonna give everyone like a little story about this box. Um, so we were in, I think it was a chat or something, and we started talking about smells, right? One night, a couple weeks back, or a month or so ago.
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago. Yeah, I asked you what your favorite scents were.
Yeah, and then well, it first started in chat though. I think it was a conversation about like was I think maybe not though. But then Listrynne had messaged me, was like, "Hey, what are your favorite smells?" I was like, So I gave her a few, and then before I knew it, I was getting these really cool, like almost like witchy, like photographs of like someone like boiling something over like a cauldron type thing. she
Yeah.
was making she was making concoctions for me. So and then she's been working on it. You were working on it a little bit, huh?
Yeah. I actually had to make a new batch because it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. It's still good, but it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it.
Really? Oh, okay, gotcha. So look, expert raid. Whoop whoop. I want to wait till expert gets in here too. Actually, thank you, expert, for sending me everyone. Darth, look, you did make it. I thought you were sleeping. I miss you too, Phyllis. Look, Mickey T says hello, lovely Listrynne.
Sorry, I'm looking something up because I took pictures, but I can't find them now, so I have to just Google it.
By the way, guys, in the description is Listrynne's it's your Instagram, right? That you sent me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in the chat too. Since Darth, since you're here, can you pin it to the chat? I think that managing mods can pin comments, if I'm not mistaken. So hold on real quick. I'm still here. I can still hear you. Okay.
No, it's fine.
I'm finding the link you gave me so I can put it in the thing. There it is. All right. I just put it in the chat. You can't pin? How weird. Tony, what up? Hold on. I did just put it in the chat. Hold on. Let me pin it. There we go. So, you guys, if you want to contact Listrynne after this, that's how you can get a hold of her. Okay. So, I literally have been holding on to this for like 4 or 5 days, right? It seems like. So now we're gonna unbox it. Yay! I'm so excited. I wish I had music playing.
I try and sing, but right now my throat's raw. It's allergy season. I can't sing.
What'd you say? It's allergy season?
Yeah, I can't sing right now.
You can't sing?
Not.
Hold on, you sing?
Oh, I love singing.
I didn't know that, Listrynne.
Yeah. Since I was a kid, I've been in choir at church and everything, so.
I still didn't know this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I did a choir class my first
this is
term
so
of
cute.
college.
You did what? Your first term of college?
I took a choir class, and this was in Oregon, and it was because it was around Christmas time. We did Handel's Messiah, We did a concert, and that was a lot of fun.
How cool is that? I love it. Okay, so I got this and this. Which one do you want me to open first? Or which one should I dive into first?
You might as well smell. See if you like the smell.
Okay, so again, guys, if you're just popping in, so Listrynne, this is like a lotion, correct?
Yes, that's a lotion.
Okay. Explain to everyone how you made it to, or like what you put in it, what smells and all that.
So it's cedarwood orange. I might have to step out here a sec. We've been having really bad rain. I need to go check and see if my dad's home. My mom is worried about him. So I'll be right back. Okay.
You're good.
I mean, I can still hear you and stuff, but since I don't want to give anybody motion sickness, you know.
I got you.
All right.
If you want me to mute, or don't forget to mute if you need to.
Yeah.
Okay, so but this, look, hold on, I'm trying to give it to you guys to sniff. It smells super, super good. Oh my gosh, it's so thick. I didn't even need that much. Holy cow. It's nice and thick.
Oh, okay. Good.
I'm like surprised.
I actually didn't have to go very far because I can see his car from my window. So, yeah.
Okay, Listrynne, you're good. You're good. I'm rubbing this stuff all over me. This stuff is like thick. I'm surprised I didn't even need that much. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and because it has magnesium in it, you might be a little bit itchy for a minute or two, and you can always just wipe it off. Because magnesium is just a little bit irritating to some people.
So what's the magnesium for?
So magnesium apparently helps with muscle cramping. So
really?
Because magnesium. So one reason that people will get muscle cramps after working out or exercising really hard is if they're dehydrated, they don't have enough of electrolytes, and magnesium is one of those. And what they do, some of these electrolytes also, so the way that your muscles, the nerves, you send signals to the muscles is by using calcium and potassium and magnesium, minerals like that, that tell the muscles when to contract and when to relax. So some of them say contract and some of them say relax. Magnesium is one that says relax. So if you've got some muscle cramps, then sometimes like you could take a magnesium supplement, but that tends to clog you up. And or sometimes, well, no, let's see. I can't remember if it's one that clogs you up or makes you run. But it's not very nice to your digestion.
It won't give me the runs, will it? Unless I eat it.
Yeah. So if you take a magnesium supplement orally, then it messes with your digestion. But if you just put it on your skin, it just soaks right in, and your body takes as much as you need.
I'm starting to feel that stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah, like, little bit itchy.
No, not itchy. She said a little bit itchy. You're like, are you a little itchy?
Yeah, no.
No, it's starting to like. Is it supposed to warm up your muscles, kind of?
Yeah, it kind of just relaxes them. And yeah, it does feel kind of warm to me sometimes when I rub it on. And you don't have to put it on, like if it's your leg that's cramping, you can put this on your arm and it'll have the same effect. Because what it does is it gets into your bloodstream.
I put it all over me, so. But I noticed on my arm in particular, that's where I put like a lot of it. Like my arm feels all warm now. It feels all warm.
Yeah.
I like it. It smells beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, I'm glad you like the smell. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I think you had said, I had asked another friend of mine, and she had said she liked like citrusy or something, and you had mentioned cedarwood, so I happened to get both orange and cedarwood.
I love cedarwood. Love it.
And then I was just sniffing. I had gotten a couple of other scents as well while I was buying them, and I was sniffing them and just kind of thinking about the different scents, and I was like, you know what, orange and cedarwood sounds like it would go really well together. So I tried it, and it does.
Oh, your little note's so cute. It says, Clumsy, I hope you enjoy this. Thanks for being you. How cute. I do. I super love it. So if someone, are you thinking about making these? I'm trying to get her to make these, by the way. I told her that she should make it. I told her I'll totally blast her Etsy store or eBay store, whatever it is. I think she should start and I actually liked the jar that you put it in.
Yeah, I just got that at Walmart, so
Really?
figured it would work
Oh, what,
better
the
than the
jar?
Dollar Tree jars.
I like it, yeah. But
Yeah.
so I'm trying to convince her she needs to market this or something, or that way she can start selling them because I think a lot of people will buy them. My arms are so warm, you guys. Like seriously, they feel super warm. Oh, hold on. So real quick, have you heard of So someone's put something about potassium in here. Hold on.
Yes, potassium is also very good for muscle cramps and stuff. And
Is it?
my mom now wants me to go and tell my dad to call her. So
You're
that's
good.
why I turned my camera off again. So, oh gosh, it's still raining. Yay. Oh, slippery mud.
Slippery mud. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay, I feel like such a boomer right now. Expert, you kept saying SAV, and I thought SAV was like an acronym. I was like, what does SAV mean, guys? I was going to ask someone.
Oh my gosh, the driveway is flooded.
Oh, did you say it was raining over there? Or did someone else tell
Oh
you?
yeah, it's been massive thunderstorms. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hold on. I have metal in my lower back and hip. Really? Hi, Suzanne. Welcome. Ash is in rare form right now.
All right, I'm back. At least for sound.
Did you hear? There's a question for you too. I just highlighted. Can you see it from Phyllis?
I don't want to get my phone wet at the moment.
Okay, I'll read it to you. So it says, does it help with arthritis and fibromyalgia?
I do not know, but I imagine there are other things that could be put in it.
Too. Yeah, I would think arthritis it might, because my arms are super warm.
Well, the arthritis is more in the joint generally, and so you'd want to put something that might have, capsaicin, which is in the peppers, is a traditional anti-inflammatory for topical pain relief. But that I know I personally had a very bad reaction to it when I put it on a sore muscle once. But things that are anti-inflammatory would help with that.
Oh, is this from
magnesium is a relaxer, not an anti-inflammatory.
Gotcha. This stuff you sent me in the little pouch, is this from your garden?
No, it's actually from across the street from my daughter's school.
It smells so good.
Yeah, that's just some of the sagebrush we've got here that I am unfortunately allergic to.
Oh, you're allergic to the brush?
I'm allergic to I'm allergic to sagebrush. It kind of sucks.
It's interesting because this sage almost has this one in particular has almost like a sweet smell to it.
Yeah, it's different from the sage that you sent me, which is why I decided to send you some back.
I know. Thank you. I love it. That's so awesome. Yeah. And then Suzanne, she sent me some. Hold on. I'll show you one of the things that Suzanne sent me, or because I still have the other rope of it. I think it's sweetgrass. It's so cool. Hold on.
Yeah, I could look up some stuff to help with arthritis and fibromyalgia that I could add to the lotions, but I'm not sure what that would be right now.
You just have to research it type thing. Look, you see the braid?
Nice.
That's what Suzanne had sent me. I still have one left. I burned the other one. This stuff is good though. I love it. I love that you guys are sending me all your stuff. It's so cute.
Yep. And then did you see what else was in the pouch? By the way, I sewed that pouch by hand.
You made this?
Yeah, I made it.
You did? How cute are you? I love it.
Yeah, it's a sleeve from a t-shirt that I got for girls camp when I was a teenager. That, really? I used the t-shirt for another project and I was like, oh, look, that's perfect.
Listrynne, you need to get on making stuff. You need to do it, and then you need to open your little eBay or Etsy store. I think eBay is the easier one to do because I have an eBay store.
Yeah.
Do it. Oh, this is cute.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Oh, did it? Oh, it got caught in the ribbon.
I'm making sure it did it.
Okay.
Sip.
So that you can tie it into a bracelet, or you can hook it on a key ring or something. Although it might not last very long as a key ring, but put it somewhere.
This is so cute. Hold on, you made this too?
Yep.
I'm assuming you hand wrapped it and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I even took a hammer to a big chunk of lava rock. I got the real deal.
Oh, this is lava rock! Yay! I love lava rock too. It's a good root chakra.
Well,
I saw you put that in there, but it is.
Yep, it is, and that's why I use the red string as well.
Lava rock's really a good detoxifier too.
Yeah, so that lava rock is unique because it comes from the only place outside of Hawaii that lava rock exists. That is called Pahoehoe. Yeah, it's called Pahoehoe.
How's it spelled? Is it spelled like
Pahoehoe?
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I actually love it, Listrynne. Thank you. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. The area where I live is lava flows made out of Pahoehoe. And so it's I can't remember. Let me Google this real fast.
Like you said, I gotta put it on my Roku so I can see these bigger.
Okay.
Oh, Grandma's house, so good to see you. Love you.
Okay. This is from the blm.gov website. Let's see if it's actually got what I want to say. Okay, so I got that at Hell's Half Acre, the Hell's Half Acre Trail, just off of I-15, and it's just south of Idaho Falls, where I got it from, and it's part of the entire lava flow. Let's see if it tells me. 222 square miles of lava flow in this area. And what happened it says about 4,100 years ago, the lava erupted, and instead of being like explosive, like Vesuvius or something like that goes straight up, it more oozed out. But it oozed out, and it was at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh yeah, that's nice and hot.
Yeah, and
it's kind of like obsidian. It's the same. It's made from lava too.
Mm-hmm, yeah, so it had the consistency of molasses and traveled at speeds of up to 30 miles an hour. And because of the way that it flowed, the lava is more smooth on top instead of as wrinkly as some of the lava flows you see are. And it also would create lava tubes. So we have all over this area, we have lava tubes, caves that, sometimes there's times that like a river or a stream or something will erode the top away of one of these lava tubes, and then it suddenly just fills with water, like like a drain and stuff like that. And I've been inside one of the lava tubes.
Have you been in there when it's kind of like spewing out?
Oh no, the lava is not coming out anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. It's been 4,000 years. So.
Oh, since it erupted ever again?
Since the last time. Well, and see, it's not necessarily some places like along fault lines have a regular eruption cycle, and this as far as I'm aware doesn't specifically have an eruption cycle. Basically, the crust stretched enough that it got a little weak spot that this could come out. but this cave is called 17 Mile Cave, and it's this lava tube that's, I don't know, 20 to 30 feet in diameter. And you just go out to this farmer's field just off of the road. You go and you just climb down this into this little hole in the ground, and you're in this cave that, it if it's too wet like it is tonight, it fills up with water a bit. And then during the dry season, you can explore further back along it and stuff.
Do you like
It's
Cave Listrynne?
pretty fun. Yes and no. I like knowing that I can get out of a cave easily, but it is fun to go inside caves. I've been through, I remember when I was a kid, we went through Timpanogos Cave a few times, and that's down in the Utah Valley area, down by Provo.
Okay.
So just south, the valley south of Salt Lake. So,
wow.
Yeah, and it's a whole cave system. They do tours. You walk up a trail to the entrance to the cave, and then take you in, and it's absolutely complete darkness at times. That there's certain places where they just turn off all the flashlights and stuff. It's really, really cool. We saw a rattlesnake right outside the entrance once.
I saw, the last time I saw a snake wasn't even that long ago. It was like 2 years ago, and I'm out in the desert, so we have the rattlesnakes. It scared the fuck out of me. Because I wasn't expecting. I was out rock hunting, and that's what it happened. And I'm like, snakes usually stay away, you know what I mean? And it wasn't near nighttime, so I was surprised when I ran into it, to say the least.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten rattlesnake?
No, have you, Listrynne?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
I would totally eat it just to be like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, my brother almost stepped on one once. But, yeah.
That's what happened to me last time I was out in the desert. I literally almost stepped on that rattlesnake. It would have fucking kicked my ass.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I heard the rattle right before I stepped on it.
Well, he was like 10 or 12 at the time. It was at a family reunion. He was going up, this is in southern Utah. The near like Zion's and Bryce Canyon and stuff. And he was going up the mountainside with another cousin. There's a little hike up to the ridge line that's like 5 to 10 minutes. And they're just going up the mountain, and suddenly my brother comes charging back down. He's like, "There's a rattlesnake!" And my cousin had stayed there to keep an eye on it, because this is where lots of little kids, the 7 and 8 year olds will go up this by themselves to get to Froggy Rock. And so
Froggy Rock?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a frog. So that's what it's been called since I've known it. But so it was about halfway up there. It was funny because my mom is actually one of the older cousins in her generation. She's number 17 out of 65. And so she's got, big family.
Are they Mormon or something? Are they Mormon?
Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, look at me guessing it. Oh, are they Mormons?
Yep.
Mormons usually have really big families.
My grandma is the oldest of 11. So, yeah, and so we've got a lot of cousins, and so some of my mom's, the youngest of my mom's cousins are only a few years older than me. So, one of them was still in college. I was a teenager. One of them was in college, and she'd brought her boyfriend to along, and apparently he's a herpetologist studying reptiles. And he heard a rattlesnake. He's like, "I want to catch it and take it to my professor." So he grabbed a mop. He grabbed a mop.
Rattlesnake? Oh, hell no. I would have ran so fast away from him. I would have been like, "You're on your own, buddy."
Yeah, and another of my mom's cousins had one of those little tiny pistols that's like the size of your hand. And he brought that up. He was 30 or something at the time. And he was the one that every time there was a rattlesnake, he would do the lesson for all the kids of, this is what a rattlesnake sounds like. This is what they look like. This is why you got to stay away and stuff like that. And so a whole bunch of us kids go running up the mountain with the adults because we wanted to see the rattlesnake,
Uh-huh.
And So we get to where where my brother had left my cousin, and apparently my brother, he'd almost stepped on it as they were just running up the mountain. It's pretty close call there. But it's sitting on a rock next to a bush, and the guys, the wiser older folk let this dumb boyfriend with the mop have a go at it, but he didn't even get close to it before it started going for the bush. So Nathan shot it with the pistol just right in the head and brought it down the mountain.
Was he at a distance, or was he pretty close to it?
Oh, he was close to it to shoot it.
Yeah, I would think so. Because I was going to say, how good was his aim? For a snake, you'd have to have a really good aim if you're at any distance.
Yeah, he was. Like, I don't remember exactly how close, but I know it was close. I remember. But yeah, so then they brought it down and showed us, and that was fun. I lent him my pocket knife so that he could skin it.
You did? So hold on. So how does it taste then? How does it taste? Good?
So it tastes kind of like the dried squid that one of the kids in 8th grade would bring to school sometimes. That's, a lot of people said it tasted like chicken, but to me it tasted more like the dried squid, which tastes kind of sweet to me. So
like dried squid, you said?
Yeah, dried squid.
So I've had calamari, but I don't know if that's like baby squid. Is that baby squid or something?
No, calamari is raw squid.
Oh, is it? No, well, I had it fried. Yeah. It was like fried calamari.
You can get the fried calamari, but
is that similar?
Yeah. I think I've had calamari before, but I don't think it's very similar. So it was kind of my friend was half Japanese, and so their mom is Japanese, and so they had it. It was just one of the Japanese snacks that they would bring. And this was early 2000s, so.
Because in some places, hospitals will pay you for catching rattlesnakes. Really?
Yep.
I've never heard of that.
They milk the snakes for their venom and then use it to make the antivenom. For people that get bit, they give them the antivenom.
Oh, that makes sense actually now.
Have you ever seen them milk a snake? It's so cool. It's
actually kind of like it is actually kind of cool. You're right.
It's cool. Like a cup with plastic wrap on top, basically. It's and then they make it bite the cup.
You know who would really be into that is Vicky T. Vicky T, are you still in here? Vicky T, she watches like the weirdest shit. Like she'll watch like Dr. Popper Pimple and stuff. But
Pimple Popper, that's fun though because it's not all zits, which is not. I like.
She watches the surgeries too.
I like the surgeries. Yeah.
You do too? You little weird.
Yeah. my daughter and I watch it together. We will watch them take out the lipomas and we'll guess how many stitches she's gonna need. I didn't think I'd like it at first either, but I decided I needed to watch something to learn, so that if there's an emergency, I won't be like freaked out. I will have an idea of what to do and what to expect.
Yeah. So Vicky T probably be all into the snake venom. The snake venom, watching snake venom, how they do it though, is actually a really cool process. So I've seen it before too. I like what? So Heidi says, I'm not a snake. I am not a snake fan. Not even snakes. No, thanks, snakes.
I love snakes.
Reptiles, but not spiders or bugs. You love snakes?
Oh yeah. I love snakes. I used to catch the garter snakes all the time. And I even got bit by one once because I had caught, I was, again, this was when I was like 10 or 11 or something, and I'd caught a couple of them already, and I had one in each hand, but I was holding them by the tail because I was kind of scared to try and grab them behind the head, even though you're supposed to. And so I'm running along the irrigation ditch looking to see if I could spot a third snake. And suddenly something is, on my finger, and I looked down and the snake had latched onto my finger, and I've got a scar that I think is from it still. Like it had latched onto my finger, and so I dropped the one snake and then pried the snake off of my finger and ran into my mom to get it cleaned up and bandaged.
Did it hurt really bad or not really? Did it hurt too bad or no? Garden snakes are pretty small.
Yeah, they are. They are. They were like 16 to 18 inches. So not the smallest, but
Damn!
they were decent size. But that's a
that's actually a
normal
little for a
size in
snake, though.
Utah.
I'm thinking of
That
Ash,
was
because she'd be like, that's great!
yeah.
Okay, hold on.
And I've had friends that have like the little tiny corn snakes and stuff, and those are so cute. But,
Look, so Jen says, I like shrimp and sea urchin. See, sea urchin, isn't that something that has to be cooked a certain way?
I
If
I
I'm
like
not
shrimp.
mistaken.
I've never had sea urchin.
Volzer said, snakes, stay away from me, thanks. We used to cook
So
grass
growing up
snake.
in Idaho and Utah, basically the only snakes that are dangerous are the rattlesnakes that you're going to come across often. You know, you're more often to come across a garter snake or one of the smaller constrictor versus venomous snakes.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom, one time she was going to college down at BYU in Provo, and
Mm-hmm.
she had caught a snake, and she went and just walked into the apartment where some of her friends were hanging out. And one of the guys there was from Florida or something, and she's like, "Look at this snake!" And like before she even finished her sentence, he saw the snake and was, chair, desk, dresser, like all the way to the top, as high as he could get in the room, just in a heartbeat. And then, because, in
Holy
Florida
cow.
and those states, every snake is venomous until proven innocent,
Our states in California are really bad, too.
Yeah, well, he'd never been able to hold a snake or anything. And he's like, "Are you sure that one's safe?" And my mom's like, "Yeah, it's perfectly safe here." So he came down, but it was his reflex to just be up high as soon as he saw a snake.
That's
He
what I
didn't
would
even
have done,
think
too,
about it.
probably right away.
Yeah. But so he
At
thought
least
it
it
was
was
really
quick.
cool because he got to hold the snake and everything, and he's like, "I've never got to do this."
That's so awesome. Speaking of
Yeah.
you being in Idaho, so let me pick
Mhm.
your brain for a little bit because I've been dying to pick your brain on this subject. How was
Sure.
the Lori Vallow Daybell trial?
Oh gosh.
I've been
I'm
dying to get
glad it's
because I know you
over.
were in there.
Yeah, so I was there for 2 half days and then a full day, was how it ended up being. And what I saw there was a very solid case put forward by the prosecution. And I learned things that I I remember when everybody was looking for Tylee and JJ. And that, for a while the theory was that since the last picture we had of Tylee was at Yellowstone, that maybe they had shoved her into one of the pools, and the heat
Oh,
and the chemicals in there dissolved her body, and so we'd never find it. That was one of the theories going around, and we're like, oh, holy cow. And actually I was just at Yellowstone yesterday, so I know exactly,
how
there's much
far of a drive is it from Yellowstone to Rexburg, if you know, or
to
roundabout?
from Yellowstone to Rexburg would be about an hour.
And how far? Okay, so how far were you from the trial? From hold on. How far are you?
So
Are you closer to Rexburg or Boise?
Rexburg is only 30 minutes north of me.
Oh, okay, so you're really close to Rexburg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was able to go to they were streaming it to the courthouse in Rexburg because
Okay,
that's where the case originated.
so they
Was
had like the live camera streams then.
But
Was it
they
busy in
couldn't do
there?
it online because the media messed it up. But so basically the only people that got to actually see video were people that were in the actual courtroom, the auxiliary courtroom
Oh,
in Boise,
right.
and
Yeah.
the courtroom here in over here in Rexburg.
So how many
So
days total did you get? Like 2, 3?
it was a total of 2, but 2 of them were half days, and then one was a full day.
Gotcha. What days were you
So
there? Because I listened to the whole trial. I followed that case from the beginning, so it was something I was super interested.
oh yeah.
Seems like there's so
I
much perception on.
see. I have my notebook over here. I've got the notebook here somewhere, but I don't know where it is right now. I think it might have fallen under my bed.
You took
But
notes on it? I love
yeah, I
it. I
did.
did the same thing.
Yeah, so the I got to see some of the testimony from the experts that were analyzing Tylee's bones.
Okay,
And
like her
that
hip bones and
was,
stuff.
yeah, that was disturbing because, I mean, she'd been burned and dismembered
Yeah, they
before
didn't
being
know how
buried.
she passed. Yeah, right. Like they don't even know how she passed away.
Yeah, they don't know for sure, but it looks like it was very possibly a stabbing because what they were analyzing was stab wounds on her pelvic
Her
bones.
pelvis. Well, see, the thing I
Mm-hmm.
thought that could be, because I thought maybe what was concluded from that is maybe that they were like, because remember how they were talking about the garden tools and stuff, and I know
Mm-hmm.
there was some of them they were saying they couldn't rule them in or out if they had been used at all, but they hadn't had DNA on them or anything. I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if like they were just like going at it, but because I almost feel like they were
Well,
having a hard time like breaking down her body in the fire pit or something like that.
the one expert said that there were marks of dismemberment, marks on the bones consistent with dismemberment, but
Mm-hmm.
then there were marks on the bones that were not consistent with dismemberment. That and these were stabbing, not the cutting or tearing type of things you would do to dismember. I
So
mean, I've butchered chickens and stuff before, and it takes a good bit of technique and force to tear even the small muscles of a chicken to get a joint apart. And so
so
I can imagine how much more it would be for a human.
this is what I was thinking. I'm gonna show you the motion. So I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so like the fire pit, like this was just my thought. I was like, maybe like they were having her body would have rendered down or something, and they're like going
Mm-hmm.
like this at it to try and break down the bone. Do you know what I mean, or the body more or something? That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Maybe it was that. If I don't know if that's possible, but that's kind of where my mind went with it.
where my mind went with it, because some of the stab marks went from one side of the bone to the other, like
Oh,
poked
really?
through. Yeah,
Really?
that it went because they talked about
Oh,
how deep how deep did each impact go? Did it just go through the first layer of hard? Because you've got the it's like a shell with a soft core, right? And
yeah.
that's the
Okay.
marrow. So did it go through just into the first layer of the hard, or did it go through the hard and into the soft, or did it go through the hard into the soft and into the hard, or through that last hard? And there was at least one where it had gone all the way through, and
Huh.
you could see the marks on the other side.
Did you see the
And
pictures then that day too? Oh
I saw
no.
I saw the bones. I saw the
Oh
pictures of the
man.
bones.
Okay.
And where my mind went with that though is, I mean, a stabbing is a very personal, from all I've learned with the true crime that I've watched and listened to. Stabbing is very personal, and um, it can often be a sexual thing, especially if they're stabbing anywhere near reproductive organs
I've
like the
heard that
uterus.
too before. Like
And
it's seen
so
as an extension. I don't know, but maybe.
my thought is that whoever was stabbing her, if it was Chad or Alex, was because they were attracted to her for whatever reason, but she's a kid and they're killing her anyway. Or if Lori was jealous of Tylee because
She
Tylee
was
was a
jealous of
beautiful
everybody.
girl.
Well, it seemed like she was jealous of anyone, honestly, and everyone
Yeah.
kind of.
Well, and Tylee's a beautiful girl.
Yes.
She's gonna, maybe she was worried that Chad would lose interest in her as soon as Tylee became 18. Who knows? And
I
so to
think it,
me, it seemed like it was more sexually motivated, probably.
that's so interesting you say that. Yeah, I've heard. There was a psychologist who had said he thought something about like Chad had a maybe a like attraction towards her or something too.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, and then I listened to testimony um, from one of the Lori and Charles's friends when they lived in Hawaii, because Lori and Charles
Oh,
had lived in Hawaii
April
for a
Raymond?
while.
Is that April
Yeah,
Raymond? Okay.
yeah, I think that's her name. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and that was very interesting to me because um, it showed that Lori had at one point been very faithful and strong in going to church and believing the doctrine and following the doctrine
Oh, yeah.
and stuff. But then something changed, and so many of the people that testified said it changed when she met Chad.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's like Chad had kind of the way I read it is that Chad had his delusions of grandeur. Basically, he's an author, and so, and he's published, so therefore that gives him some authority. And then he's also a member of the priesthood, so that gives him some authority. And then he
Mm-hmm.
started running this podcast, and that gives him some authority. And so he just, all of that went to his head. And
Oh, yeah.
then
And then he had
he
a
would,
chick that he thought was a
well,
smoking hot that started showing him all that interest, you know?
right, and pride goeth before a fall. You
Yeah.
pride opens you up to the enticings of the devil. It opens you up. It's a weakness that he can exploit. And so basically all of this, this pride in himself and his authority and his knowledge, he started believing some of the stuff he wrote in his books, which were works of fiction. He started believing some of that was true, and then he started believing that he was another prophet and that he was receiving actual revelation. And I mean, we do receive revelation, but it's, he was
Not revelation
with,
to hurt other people usually.
right, right. And see, the thing is, I can receive revelation for myself and my daughter because
Mm-hmm.
my daughter is part of my circle of authority.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was minor still, then my parents could receive revelation from me. But as soon as I became an adult, they can receive revelation of how to help guide me, but they cannot receive specific revelation for me. And then, like the bishop of our ward, so bishop is equivalent to a pastor for those of you that don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but he presides over a congregation, and he can receive revelation for the entire congregation. And then above a bishop is a stake president who, um, a stake is several congregations put together, usually between 5 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so the stake president can receive revelation, and so on up the ladder till you get to the president of the church.
Yeah.
And he receives revelation for the entire church and the whole world because, but he
Do they
can't
call him
make
a
anybody
prophet,
do
right?
anything.
They
Yes, he
call
is.
him the
Yeah,
prophet? Okay. Gotcha.
yeah.
Um, so from
So,
what I gathered too, wasn't she, from what I read, that she actually was reading his books long before she met
mm-hmm.
him. So
Yeah,
I think that
she was like obsessed with him.
she totally fangirled over him when she met him.
Exactly.
Like
Yep.
completely. I think
And
she like
then,
just totally fangirled and then it just went out of control.
yeah, somehow I mean, they started getting into an emotional affair, and that led to more and more, and eventually, and that led to Chad. He kept on, and one thing that even the jurors that have spoken out have said is that Chad started the bus, but Lori drove it off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like basically, like Chad started it with telling Lori that she was special and a goddess, and that they'd had 9 other
Previous
lives or
probations,
whatever.
right? Yeah, together, previous probations.
Yeah, yeah. But
How do you feel about like all the other like players in there, meaning like
oh,
Zulema, Melanie Gibb, like how do you
yeah.
fell about them? Like, didn't you
So
want like them to get their asses chewed? I did.
I mean, they fell for it because I mean Chad apparently is a pretty smooth talker, which he's
Yeah,
gotta have with his looks.
and I know, right? Chad,
Yeah,
Chatty
but
Daddy.
yeah,
He
yeah.
had a
So
lot
he
of
had
chicks around him, kind of, actually, surprisingly.
Yeah, he did. And so he was a smooth talker. He managed to manipulate them into following him as soon as he started going off the rails, he started gathering little toadies to help him and they started, following him off the rails. And then once he got it going, I don't know if he even wanted to stop it, if he even saw it going anywhere where it shouldn't,
Hmm.
but he obviously didn't stop it. And
Don't
so,
don't you think too that like the fact that like let's say like Zulema and Melody, like they're doing these castings together, they see people start to die. You
hmm
don't think they're like? I just felt like they were totally just they did almost like they didn't care enough to really put, you know what I mean, to put other people's safety like in their head, or put it first,
well,
because they could have been brainwashed too. However, half the
hmm
time when they're talking to you, they're like, well, I didn't always believe it, I didn't want to 100% believe it, or it stops it like, oh well, they were real convincing, it just feels like there's like excuses, you know what I mean?
well, yeah, well, because I can see them making excuses. I could see them being completely brainwashed until whatever happened to make them snap out. Like, I think for Zulema, it was when Alex died, was when she started to snap out. Because right before Alex died, he had told Zulema
I think
that,
after the fall guy, right?
well, no, he told her, if I die early, if I die anytime soon, there's a bag of cash in the closet
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, I saw
And
her
then a few days
interrogating
later,
everything.
he dies. And so I
Yeah, that
think
was the
that
thing.
kind of, huh?
A lot of people think that Zulema had part in his death, or that he killed himself. A lot of people, there's like a lot of theories out there about him. But
I
his
haven't
autopsy
heard
says
that.
natural. His autopsy said it was a natural death. But I've
Yeah,
heard
but they said that with Tammy.
with
I mean,
Tammy,
until
yep.
they actually did the autopsy, and I was there when they talked to that they had the testimony of the deputy that arrived first on the scene when Tammy died, and then the deputy coroner that arrived next, and then the actual county coroner. And I saw the pictures of Tammy, and I'm like, there's no way she's been dead for less than an hour. There's no way. It just it made no sense, and I can't. I mean, but what one person said was that the coroner had only been a coroner for less than a year. She had just been elected.
Well, the thing is, coroners don't have to go know anything, to be
Right? They
quite
don't.
honest. So
No,
people
they
need to
don't.
get it. People like they need to get rid of that whole system. Actually, it's like outdated. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They need
Yeah.
to do it across the board, in my opinion, because it's just outdated and it causes all these issues like this with coroners, between the coroner and a medical
Mm-hmm.
examiner. Either that, or make sure your coroners have like some type of basic level training and or knowledge
Yeah, I think they're
when it
supposed to have
comes to
like
that.
1 week of training or something like that.
Yeah,
And
but
it's
it's
like,
nothing.
no.
It's like very like minuscule. It's a nothing class. They need something, or
Yeah.
just don't
It,
have that role anymore, and just have the medical examiners.
yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it was it was interesting seeing it, and and I'm glad that they did exhume her finally, but like, it's you know it's just really
The whole
frustrating
story,
that,
yeah, the whole
because they
story is
could
really
have,
sad.
they could have stopped, they could have
Now,
stopped things sooner. But I think when Tammy died, that the kids were already dead, if I remember right, for the timeline.
I think of
So,
that too, of because she seemed like a really nice wife too, and what everyone said about her.
hmm
Wasn't she like a teacher as well?
yeah, I
My
think
gosh,
so.
good day. It's almost like they thought she was dead, because she would have found out her husband did that. She probably would have lost her mind or
hmm
something like that. Because she seemed like such a
Yeah,
sweet lady.
yeah.
Um, Hold on. Certain electrolytes can cause the heart to stop. Really?
hmm Yeah, potassium is one of,
Oh yeah,
I
like you
think
can OD
low
on
potassium.
bananas, right? Or high
hmm
potassium. So hold
Yeah,
on. So
yeah.
yeah, potassium's electrolyte?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Potassium.
Okay.
Yep. Potassium is one of them that also controls the muscles. So.
I totally didn't know that. Says,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I don't know. Wasn't she their mother? I just don't understand. I could see being taken a fool by a man, but the expense of my babies, I don't understand. I think a lot of us can't
I don't
understand.
either.
That's why it turned into like a crime of a century type thing, because it's such the whole story is just so fanatical. Like you couldn't write it
Right.
any wilder.
Yeah, if you took this as a movie script to Hollywood, they would laugh you out of the whole state. You know, no, that's too ridiculous. But no, it's true. Sadly, it's true. Horrifyingly, it's true. So, but this, as far as I can tell, would be classed under unwanted children, just like
And it
Kaylee
almost feels
Anthony
like maybe she had a
and.
proclivity towards like extreme things, you know what I mean, whether it's extreme dieting or extreme sports, but she took her religion almost, because they were saying, even her brother was saying she was going way too much to church. She started going like nonstop. Remember, her brother said in an interview that she was just nonstop. He was like, she was just obsessed with it, and it almost like she took that obsession for something good, right, or that someone might consider good. And like everything in life, moderation, right? You can't overdo anything. And she just went so far off the deep end. And I think she's probably a narcissist because she wanted so much to be the goddess, prophet, sex goddess, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just took her whole ego over, took everything over.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, once you give in to temptation, yes, you can back up and get back on the right path, but it's harder. And every time you give in, it's harder and harder and harder. And so, but, she gave in by developing a relationship with Chad. And then, she gave in by getting her brother to kill her husband. And then, and it just kept snowballing from there. And I was there when they were doing the testimony from the first responders from Chandler, Arizona, talking about what they saw when they arrived when Charles was killed, and what they learned and stuff like that.
He's, I almost feel like he breaks my heart out of all of them the most.
Him and Tammy, I mean, like, none of them deserved what they got.
Yeah,
but
no one did. Out of any of them, yeah, I agree.
But yeah, like, Charles was a really good husband from what I can tell. From everything I've heard, he even got baptized to marry Lori. He was not LDS to start with.
Yeah,
he got baptized because she told him, "I'm not going to marry you unless you get baptized." And I mean, we're not supposed to do it. Yeah, we're not supposed to do that. But I guess he did. He did his own research and stuff, and he decided that he did want to be baptized just because. Because from what I understand, he was very faithful and going to church, even without Lori there. Once, it seems like.
Did you see the body cam of him, like, before all this happened, when he's telling the police out there in Chandler, Arizona, like, there's something wrong with my wife. She thinks I'm with some guy named Ned Schneider, like she's losing her mind. And that's the most heartbreaking thing, because everyone always says, well, if your loved ones are acting strange, call and get help, and like, it doesn't always help. Yeah, and it just seems like he tried so hard to.
I called a welfare check on my ex when we were separated before we divorced. I called a welfare check on him because he had said something that sounded suicidal to me, and so I called a welfare check, and he refused to talk to the cops because one of the problems he has is paranoia, and so he didn't want to talk to the cops. He was ignoring them. I'd had my mom call him to make sure he wasn't doing anything stupid before the cops could make contact with him.
Oh, wow.
And the way the upstairs neighbor put it was that he jumped 4 cops because because he just didn't want it. And so they ended up taking him to jail. He was there for, I think, a few hours to just overnight.
And then
This
just
was in the
it got
evening
let
when
out,
he did
right?
it. And then they let him out.
Yeah, that's
And,
how it works.
and it didn't help him any, except make him mad. And then,
Yo, except make
when,
him mad.
yeah. And then, like,
Y'all just
and
pisses
before
someone off.
that, he'd gotten admitted to the psych ward. He spent a week at the hospital, and then was transferred to the state hospital, the state mental hospital.
Did they know
And
that? Did the police, were they aware of his mental, like he had some
I
mental
don't
instability?
know,
Oh,
but
okay.
he was there, um, and so he was in the hospital for a total of 3 weeks. All they did was drug him until he was a zombie and send him home, saying, "Okay, he's fixed. Go follow up with a
See,
psychiatrist." I
I have
said,
a whole
"No,
thing.
he's not fixed. I don't want him coming home," but they sent him home anyway.
That's how, yeah. So my
And
brother,
yeah,
he suffers from paranoid schizophrenia his whole life. Um,
hmm
but that's how I feel about kind of that whole thing in general. Sometimes I feel like they're just wanting to make robots out of people, give them whatever medicine to shut them up, and um,
well, apparently insurance will only cover like up to 3 weeks or something usually, and
mhm.
so
It's a
you
whole
know.
thing.
But yeah, as far as I'm pretty sure that he's paranoid schizophrenic with bipolar,
Oh wow.
but I don't have absolute confirmation on the diagnosis because he did do a psych eval during our divorce, and he filed it with the divorce papers trying to say that no, he's not crazy. Only he whited out stuff and altered the document. So he
Oh
committed
wow.
perjury, but he never got in trouble for it. But he filed all sorts of false crap. He tried to file things saying that I had signed power of attorney over to him, and that and just no.
So Heidi says real quick. What did she say? Oh God. She got her brother involved. Her brother's
hmm
the one who did the murders. We all believe, except for maybe
What?
Tammy.
Yeah. Well, he might have done that. He might have helped with that. Don't
Yeah,
know,
I agree too. I think
but
he could have helped, but they're
yeah.
pretty sure that he's the one who did the murders of the children, like for sure. His handprint
Mhm.
or palm print was at the scene, and on
Mhm.
the bags, I think for JJ, right? His the plastic bags or
I,
something. There was a
I
palm
think so.
print.
Yeah. Yeah. JJ was wrapped in plastic bags. Um.
Um, yeah, so her brother, and from what I gathered, because I think her sister took the stand and had said something about him being in an accident, like back in the day when
Mhm.
he was 15 or 16, and she said that he'd been stuck in like a 15-year-old's head ever since that accident, and just did whatever
Mhm.
he like told him to do, especially his sister.
Mhm.
It's kind
Well,
of
and there's
sad.
rumors of of some sort of an incestuous relationship with them too.
I heard that too. That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
And if she used that to keep extra strong control over him, I wouldn't put it past. Night, Jen.
Yeah, me neither. Night, Jen. Me neither. I really thought that when I heard that, I think I said it was like his ex-wife or something came out with it, or like it was a phone call she put into the police station. That really didn't
Mhm.
surprise me at all. I think there's something up with her. Her dad seems like his energy seems weird to me. Um,
Mhm.
Lori's dad seems like a kind of a jerk or something.
I
And
haven't looked much at him, but
I'm trying to think of his name again. What the hell is his name? Barry? I think it's Barry.
mhm.
Barry Cox or something like that. Yeah, he's like wild. He's got a weird history too.
I'll have to look him up. See what my read on him
Yes.
is.
See what you find on him. How awful. It's sad. Oh, it's so sad. And you see these pictures of them too, like before all this stuff. It's like, who would have ever fucking knew, huh?
Right.
Gosh, how
Yeah.
things change.
Mhm. Yeah. It's
Well, I'm glad you got to go. Were you glad you got to go?
yeah. I am. I learned a lot more and stuff, and it was it was interesting. It made me think about things a little differently, like some of the stuff that I had heard before. Like it helped me draw some connect some dots and stuff. And the Lori's attorney, Jim Archibald, my mom actually went to school with him.
Really? A lot of people didn't like him, but I thought he was okay. I like him. He's just very monotone.
I think she might have babysat him. I can't remember if it was she went to school with him or she babysat him. But yeah, so somewhere around there. And yeah, I know he had to do his job, defend Lori and all that, but I really didn't like the way he went about it. I mean, it was about the only way he could have, really, but because he would get up there and he would try and poke holes in the witness's testimony, of course, but there weren't, like, it just was weird the way he would do it, and, like, they'd be like, no. Like, it just didn't work for, I don't know. It bothered me, but it wasn't, I mean, he didn't have much choice of how to do it.
Yeah, the whole thing is, I'm glad you got to go, though. When I heard you were there, I was like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I don't think, Pastor, you still in here? Pastor interview you about that. Because Past, he mods for all the true crime channels and stuff, and he's usually on the up and up on, he's a mod for like a few of them, I believe. But he's been wanting to go live. He's supposed to have been going live, but he's been sick on his channel for the first time soon. And he does like a wide array of topics. But I know he's had to have heard of this case, because if you go in his you're in his Discord, aren't you? I think I've seen you in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So in his Discord, you notice he's always has all like the crime stuff up, or whatever news is out. Like he has it all out there all the time. He's always on top of it.
Yeah. I think it was really funny. One of the true crime channels that I follow, Annie Elise with 10 to Life, she posted a picture of Lori and said, "Happy Mother's Day, Lori." Because it's like guilty, 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 guilty. Happy Mother's Day.
I don't think that was a surprise. I think everyone knew she'd probably come back guilty on all of them.
I'm glad they came back with guilty on all of them. And then I watched Lawyer, he went through the jury, the jurors that did interviews. One was the alternate, and one was able to help decide. And it was really interesting, what they said too.
Oh yeah, I saw some of them too. I saw the one with the gentleman with May Eaton right after. That was a really good interview. It was like he was almost like the perfect juror, to be quite honest. Right?
Yeah.
Like how everything he was talking about, it's like, wow, you could have picked a better one. Like how he said he still remained open and wanted to be convinced and overwhelmed by the evidence. I was like, you could have asked for a better juror, honestly. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I totally thought he was great. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much, Listrynne. I so love it and appreciate it. I did. If anyone wants to contact Listrynne, I did put her Instagram. It's pinned to the chat and it's also in the description. Okay. So thank you so much, Listrynne, and I will see everyone later. I'll be back for my live.
Okay, I'll probably be asleep by then. So.
I know you will. Thank you so much, Listrynne, again. And
Yep.
I'd like to, whenever you want to come hang out with me again, let me know. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Yep. Bye.